Hey guys, I'm Jordan and you're watching Fixbook. After watching this video, your car problems stand about as much a chance as this laptop does against my hot lead. Now, make sure you stay tuned so you can see what happened to the laptop at the end of this video. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to change that rear window regulator and motor on your Buick Century. Alright guys, and the first thing we got to do here is we're going to come to our back door, and right down in here we have a cover we're going to have to remove, and we have two bolts sitting down in there we're going to take off. Okay guys, so here we are. This is this little cover I was talking about, so I'm just going to reach down in there and kind of push up, and just pop them right off like you saw me do there. And then also, you might want to use a flathead. I'm just using this Phillips because it's the first thing I grabbed a hold of. And you'll just kind of pull them out right like that. And let's see, we had a piece holding them there, but that's okay because on the back end you got a piece that really holds them in there good. So we're just gonna set him off to the side, and then I'll take these two bolts off, and then we'll begin trying to get this door panel off. Okay guys, and here's our two bolts. They're 10mm bolts. I'm just gonna reach down in there. And then I'll remove my two bolts. And then you can also, right here, this little cover will just pop off if you'll just kind of pull and tug, and there we go. You can just kind of work them off there, and that way this little button will be able to fit down in there, and we'll be able to take the door panel, and this guy won't get in our way. Okay guys, so the next thing we have to do is we need to go ahead and push this guy down in there, and then we're going to go ahead and start trying to lift and pull. And eventually we're going to have to pull this open and get the panel around that thing. But first we want to pop it all off so our clips get off. And you could hear them pop there. Now I'm just going to pull, and I'll get that guy off. And let's see. There we go. So we've got our door panel off, and I'll go ahead and set them off to the side here. And then we'll work on getting this weathering plastic stuff here out of our way, and work on unmounting our window regulator and motor. Okay guys, so here's our weathering plastic. All you got to do is kind of pull this stuff off right here, and it's going to stick back on real easy. We got to stick everything back on. I'm just going to kind of pull it off right like that. And also, there's a cutout on the plastic sheet right here for this metal thing. So you're just going to kind of work it around like so, and we're going to get it all out of our way here. And see this wire? You don't actually have to stick the wire through there. You can just kind of leave it sitting right here. That way it'll leave this plastic sheet kind of hanging. So there we go. We've just about got it all done there. So we're going to set them off to the side there. And now we can see the plastic thing is no longer connected to the door. And now we have access to all our bolts that we need to get to in order to remove this assembly here and to change this assembly. Okay guys, now the next thing we have to do is we have 2, 4, and then 7 bolts we gotta take off. They're all 10mm heads on the bolts there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and zip these guys off. The 4 I just zipped off right there are for the track on the regulator. The 3 over here are going to be for this motor here, which is the motor part of the motor regulator. There we go guys. Now, basically, we've got our piece here sliding, and what we're going to want to do is we'll come up here and push down on the window so we can get the window in such a situation there to where we can see the 2 bolts, and then we'll take those 2 bolts off as well, which are also 10mm bolt heads. We're going to zip those off, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Okay guys, so here I'm at the top of the window. I'm going to go ahead and push down. Hopefully yours permits you to do so as well. And if it stops cooperating, you might have to jiggle it around. And there we go. And now I can see down below, I should be able to see my 2 bolts. Now let's take a closer look at those 2 bolts right down there. Okay guys, now you can see this bolt right here. Now watch my finger. If you can see my finger, there's another bolt right here. This thing may be in your way, I'm not 100% sure, but all we're gonna do is remove these 2 10mm bolts. We're gonna slide the window up so we can get the window out of the way so we can go ahead and pull that regulator and motor out, put our new one in, and then hook the window back up. So I'll just go ahead and take my ratchet and socket here. I'm just gonna hook up to this guy. There we go, and then I got this other one right over here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and you'll see the window moving because I'm just gonna pull them straight on up. And there we go. I've got my window pulled up, and now we can go ahead and kind of pull this guy right here out of our way. But before I remove this guy, I'm gonna make sure you can see exactly everything I'm doing right here. Okay guys, and hopefully you can see a little bit better now. So we're just gonna kind of lift up on this guy, and we're gonna pull him on out here. And here's our motor. Your motor is also gonna be plugged in. So what you're gonna do is we've got, let's see, got a piece right here. You're gonna push in and pull up. And let's see, you might be able to do it with your hands. You might have to grab like a screwdriver. I'm gonna reach for my screwdriver. And basically, we're just gonna push down on this guy right here, and it makes it a lot easier. And then we're just gonna go ahead and set this guy to the side. And now, we'll bring in our new regulator and motor, plug them up, and just fit them back in there. Slide the window back down onto everything, fasten everything on there, and we'll be good to go. Alright guys, so I've got my new window regulator and motor right here. I'm going to start by hooking up our motor here to that electrical connector you saw me disconnect there. It's going to plug in just like that. Then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of set my motor in here. Now I'll take the regulator, work him in there slowly, and how this is going to work is this side is going to be facing me, and this side is going to be facing the other side obviously. So I'm just going to kind of stick this guy right in here, and then we're going to arrange the motor in such a way where it's pointing in the right direction. And there we go, we've got everything into position. Now we're just going to take our bolts, we're going to hook them all up here. Okay guys, and now we're just going to line up our motor here. I'm going to go ahead and start these bolts, and I've got my 4 other bolts there started. And once I get them all started, I'm just going to zip them all down, which is the fun part and the easy part. And there we go. So I'm going to put this guy in the other way. There we go. Now we have our regulator and motor hooked all the way back up, and basically from this point what we'll go ahead and do is we'll turn the key to the on position so we can work our piece down here up, and we're going to push our window back down, and there you can see our window just came back into the camera view there, and we're going to line up the 2 holes on the track piece here with the window, and we're going to hook up the window so that way our new regulator can operate the window up and down. Okay guys, and the next thing you want to do is we'll go ahead and get this guy lined up like I did right there. And basically what I did was I went to that front door because the button back here doesn't work, but I went to the front door, hit the button, and got this thing to move up so we could line it up with the window. And then you're just gonna kind of take your 10mm bolt, we'll start them right like so. And if you have any trouble, like let's say you get this one started, then you go to the other one, what you can do is up at the top, you can grab the mirror with your top hand and kind of rock the window back and forth so we can get it started in a good way. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and zap this guy back on. And you want to be kind of careful, guys, because even though that bolt is going into metal, that metal is housed by that plastic piece there, which is essentially holding the window there. So you just want to be careful when you fasten those two bolts on. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to roll up and down, and we'll take a look and see if it looks better than it did before. And before, this one didn't do anything. Here's the old regulator, and we can see the thing here is all kinds of out, and so this thing wasn't working at all. But now the window should go up and down, so let's take a look. Okay guys, so now I'm about to test the window. I'm gonna have to go to the front door to do it. You always want to do this at this point. You want to make sure you test it because you don't want to put everything back together and then come to find out the window is not actually working. So now you'll just see me, I'm gonna be up front and I'm gonna be pushing the button up and down, and you'll see the window going up and down if it does work. So we'll find out here in just a second. Okay guys, and we see it does work, and I know this looks a little slow. One, it's because the car is not actually off, so it's getting a lower voltage, which is going to make it appear to be a little bit slower. But the other reason could be because this could be dry, and it could not be lubricated as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some dry lubricant from Liquid Wrench. It's you can really use any one, and I'm just going to kind of spray it in. There we go, and basically what that's going to do is the liquid carries material, which the material itself is actually the thing that's going to kind of lubricate it. It's not a liquid lubricant because that liquid's going to dry, and I think it's like Teflon or something. Basically little particles of Teflon are going to stay there, and that's going to help lubricate the window. So that'll help this window operate like it's a little bit newer because it's a much older car. So now we'll go ahead and put the panel and everything back on. Okay guys, so the next thing we're going to do here, I said put the panel back on. We're actually going to put this plastic sheet back on first. And the first thing you want to do is find your cutout, set it back over this metal piece. Then we can begin to work with the black stuff, because if you do the black stuff first, you may have a hard time putting this thing back in. So put it on right there, then I'm going to get my stuff started. And you can see where it was. Then reach over here. There we go, and you basically just press down on this black strip stuff, and it adheres really well. You don't generally have to replace the weathering adhesive, because it just kind of comes back on and comes off and on and off and on. It generally just always still holds that adhesiveness. Now I'm going to grab our door panel, and we're going to stick the panel back on and run our two bolts down, and we're just about done. Now, putting our panel back on can be a little tricky. The first thing you want to do is grab your door handle and get the door handle worked in this piece before you do anything else. So we're going to grab that piece, and there we go. We've got them worked back on there. Now we're just going to kind of feel, because basically we've got plastic pegs that need to be snapped back in. So we're just going to try and make sure we align it there pretty well. I can kind of feel, and there we go. Alright, so once you get it lined up, looks good. And this one I can tell it's been on and off a few times. And so you may not be able to get it all the way, but that feels like that's about the best as we're going to do. When we run those two bolts back on, what that's going to do is it's going to hold the center of the door nice and secure to the base of the door, so it's going to hold the panel on there pretty well. So even if your plastic clips are messed up there a little bit, your door panel will still hang on there just fine. And also make sure before you bolt everything up, make sure you can get your button through there as well, because you don't want to bolt everything up and then find out you're going to have to take the panel back off to get that button back up through this little hole. Okay guys, and here we are, we're just about done. I've already got that one ran down in there, and basically you'll just kind of stick it in there. And these guys are kind of self-starting bolts. They have a pointy end, not just kind of like a flat end, so I'm just going to kind of set them in there and just run them all the way down. There we go, and so they're both nice and tight. Now we can see we're really on there good. The next thing we'll do is grab our little piece right here. You're gonna take note of how it goes in there. We're gonna snap it back on like that, and then we'll also make sure our piece is on there the right way. It feels like it may want to go the other way. No, it definitely doesn't go the other way, so it's definitely gonna look like that. The white piece is gonna be pointing this way. Then we're just gonna snap our piece back in there. It's gonna set flush. So now we push it there. Works. Also, you're gonna grab that little plastic piece that sits down in there. Found him there. He's right here, and basically you can see he's got two little things there which are kind of gonna grab on to that little rectangle down in there. So you're just gonna set him in there, push him, and he'll kind of snap in there. So there you go. That's pretty much it. We've got everything put together now. So that concludes today's project. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch all my new videos, which publish Mondays and Fridays at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will see you then.